Welcome back. Steve here at Soggy Bottom Farm. It's raining again, kind of cold and rainy. Too much rain to be hanging around outside. So you find me here in the shed again. And what you're looking at are some wooden molds that I made for the block walls that comprise our garden. Made boxes out of block walls. I'll take you out there here in a minute and show them to you. But these are the caps that I'm going to put on top of the cinder blocks. And I'm going to take you on take you around and show you what I'm doing with them and show you how you can do it. It's not that difficult. It's really quite easy. And, who wants to have a sidewalk like everybody else? So, I bumped the phone. Hang in there. I'm going to disassemble them and, let me show you one. Here's one. Can you see that? Yeah. This I took out of the mold yesterday. It's the exact same dimensions as a cinder block, the length and the width. I just measured a cinder block. Bought some boards, these wide ones here at the bottom, right here. And then the actual form is made of this wood here. If you decide to do this, and you want detail, nice crisp square corners, make sure your wood has got nice square corners, not rounded off. If they round it off, it's going to look funny when you take it out of the mold. I made that mistake early on. Had to start all over again. I've made 100 of these things, maybe 200. Out of these that mold. This mold I've probably made 40 or 50 out of. I needed to get more done in a shorter period of time. Anyways, some details. That's 1 60-pound bag of concrete. This is what they call an 1.5-inch board. It actually measures like 1 1/4 inches. That mold, all that total probably cost $10 to make that wooden mold, each one of them. The bag of concrete, 60 pounds, every day of the week, no sale, is like $3.50. So a little bit of time, that's $3.50 to make your own blocks. You can buy the caps, but like I said, who wants their prom queen to be wearing the same dress as every other girl at the prom? So let me take you around. I'm going to show you. I'm going to pause this because people don't like to be walked. And show you where they're going. And maybe it will inspire you to try and do the same or something similar. Hang on. Okay, we're standing in the backyard. This is where I poured some concrete and put what my wife calls pretties in it. This is the sidewalk. And then here's where I put all of the caps. See, we stick whatever we want. Broken glass, some beads, bunch of rocks, whatever you feel like doing it. Just do whatever you want. This is where they're going. Okay, enough of that. This is the pad that you enter the deck on. And then this is where everybody parks, on these little stones that I made. Hang on, going back to the shed. Okay, we're back in the shed. This is a mantle I made. Let me get some of this stuff out of the way. For a small wood stove. See, I got a drill bit in it, stainless steel screw, a nut, a hook, a toggle bolt with another hook. So, You know, if you need to put up a fireplace mantle, a little welcome sidewalk to welcome people into the thing, it doesn't have to be just a plain old everyday sidewalk. Build yourself a mold out of some wood, pour some concrete in it, and then get yourself a bucket of rocks. Wow. We use a lot of rocks. We got little beads, little crystals, whatever you feel like sticking in it. If you have a small engine repair shop, throw some lawnmower blades in it. Make it yours. Make it unique. You got a busted Coke bottle, stick the bottom of it in there. Do something a little different. Let me take, I'm going to get these out of here. Show you how to prepare that mold so that the concrete, once it's dry, will separate and come out of that wooden mold real easy. And then I'm going to mix up some concrete. This is probably the hardest part. I'm going to show you the best way to mix this up so you're not so intimidated by the work. It's very, very easy. I'll show you. So hang on. Okay, I removed these screws. These are, you just buy them at Lowe's anywhere you want to. They were holding in the pieces of wood that separated each one of those blocks. Now I'm going to tip it up on its side and get those pieces of wood out of there. Like this. Just remove them. If they haven't been drying long enough, you might want to remove the board on the side. This is 24 hours later. The temperature, the humidity, a lot of things dictate how long you need to leave them in there before you remove them. The longer, the better. So hang on, let me get these out, and I might have to take that board off the side because it's only been 24 hours on rainy days. Hang in there. Okay, I'm going to take you out of here and show you a couple things. Hang in there for the movement. I got it all separated. Notice my little hammer. A couple things I want to point out. Let me see. That's a 4, a 3. I numbered, when this is assembled here, I numbered these pieces of wood that correspond to where they go in this mold because I put this together with screws and I didn't want to sit there and put 20 holes in that little bitty piece of wood. By the time I got done, the end of this board would have been useless. I couldn't have reused it over and over and over again. Don't over tighten the screws, you'll just strip the wood out. But anyways, you get it to this point. Like I said, these things like to stick if you don't use some kind of release agent. I just use old motor oil. About every 3 or 4 times I make these, I clean this wood off really good. And then I use old motor oil. You can spray with WD-40. I've used Pam cooking spray, whatever you feel like using. I need to get rid of some oil, so I use the oil. And then these things will come off and you'll have this underneath. This is where the piece of wood was at. And if you do it all right, your edges down here will be nice and smooth and there won't be any air bubbles and hollow spots. You know, if this is going to be visible. If you're just making a concrete pad outside the door, then you don't have to worry about that too much. Couple other things, depending on what you're really looking for in your finished product, is how much water you put in the bag of concrete. the more water, the weaker the concrete. If you're doing structural stuff, there's other people you got to listen to as far as the strength of concrete. I don't need strength. But if you make it too dry, when you put your little, my wife calls them pretties, when you put your pretties in there, they leave a depression. And let me see if I can get this over here and show you a little better. Let me grab this one. This one really shows it good. See, when I shoved that rock in there, all of the concrete got pushed down in along with it, and it wasn't fluid enough to smooth itself back out, so that the only thing that surrounded this rock was a smooth finish with nothing but cream. The cream rinses off after a while anyways if you don't seal it, but these are good enough for me. So let me continue the process. Hang on, I'll show you how to, well, you can clean it with a broom, scrape it off, whatever you want. This stuff doesn't really stick. It's on here, but it's not really stuck. It's just there. See, I rubbed it right off. See? Let me do that again so you can see. That stuff's not sticking because I put oil on it. Concrete and water and oil don't mix. So hang on, I'm going to get these out of the way and show you how to prepare it again if you so choose. We might use motor oil, might use WD-40. I might use WD-40 on that one and motor oil on this one, and then finish it up by releasing them tomorrow, and that would be the end of this video. We'll find out. Hang on. Okay, I swept that off with a broom, but I want to point something out before I go any further. You really can't see it right here. But when you wet, it doesn't matter what it is, if you take a piece of wood and you put moisture on one side and not the other, the fibers of the wood swell up. And when they swell up, the board curls like that. It will curl. The top of my knuckles would be the part that got wet. So if you're going to be doing this kind of stuff, and you're doing the same, like this, using this mold over and over and over again, something you can expect to see. I don't know if I can you, let me get something else. Hang in there. Hold on. I am so unprepared sometimes. You see how that board has got light shining underneath of it? Well, how do I do this? Let me turn this around. There, maybe that shows up. You see that? That's what's going to happen to your board. You can either wet both sides or just as long as you expect it. Prepare for something like that if you're going to make a concrete mold using wood. Okay, hang on. Let me mention something else while it's on my mind. Because, you know, something that seems so simple can get rather daunting if it gets to be too time-consuming day after day after day. You don't want it to turn into work. So here's the side of it. You see these remnants of concrete film that are left on here? They just come right off. Right? You can brush them. Take it right off. Close enough. Good enough. You could scrape it with a scraper. You can do a lot of things. The point is, it doesn't matter to the end product. That stuff is just going to blend right in. You'll never know it 2 weeks after you take it outside. You'll never see that stuff. It won't interfere at all, this stuff that's on this piece of wood. So if you want, don't even clean it. You'll never even notice it's there. You don't even have to clean it. Don't make it too difficult, or you might not. You might end up going to the store and buying what everybody else has. So just stick it out. Don't make it too hard on yourself. All right, hang on. I'm going to put this back together. I think we'll spray this one with WD-40. Hang on. This is why I pointed out the wood warpage. You see, this board is attached to this board. But you see this big old gap underneath of here? They all have it now. Because the walls of this thing, let's see if I can, this wall has bowed outward like that from this board swelling on this surface only. No big deal. Put it together and stand on it while it's upside down when you put the screws back in this board. You'll never know it's there. But anticipate that. If, you know, the Navy did you like they did me and you pay too much attention to detail. If that's not what you want, just anticipate it. Hang on, we're going to keep going. Okay, I put it back together and I sprayed it with WD-40. And then one final note here on preparing this thing. Get a couple of things here. You don't want puddles of old motor oil, WD-40. You don't want puddles of it in there. So just get some paper towels, wipe it out, and then pour your concrete in it after you mix it. I see this video is getting to be about 17 minutes long. I don't know how that happens to me. People build houses in 15-minute videos. It just fascinates me. You can't learn much in 15 minutes. So I'm going to make another video showing you the easiest and fastest way to mix up a bag of concrete, 60 pounds. I buy Sackcrete. Let me show you. At Lowe's, $3.50. There's rocks in concrete. You could use mortar. There's no rocks in mortar, just sand. And then your finish on the top might, you know, it would be less violent, let's say. Because when you shove things down inside of a screeded off concrete mold, you disrupt the surface of it. Sometimes it can look kind of rough at times. Depends on what you want. Alrighty, that's Steve. I'm going to let you guys go for now. And look forward to seeing the video mixing concrete. I mean, easy. So hang on. It's coming. Thanks again for stopping by and spending a few minutes with me in the shed on a rainy day. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.